being number one, that don't, what is it? That don't really matter to me at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, I actually like Kenny Pickett than Deshaun Watson. Like, the Browns have started OTAs, and even though the media is not there, the Browns themselves have been more than gracious to share some beautiful clips. You actually have a nice ball that Shedeur Sanders threw, and then a few just regular old dink and dunks to the tight ends. It looked like all the quarterbacks are getting some action. Just starting off here again. Look, this is OTAs, still optional team activities. These aren't things that where a lot is going to be tested of them, but it's still good to get a good look at them and get the first look. So what we're gonna do is check this out. And take a peek at Shedeur Sanders throwing the ball. And then after that, we're going to check out the Browns as a whole, because they're going to be whipping it around town. And then if we have some time, we're going to follow up on a video I did yesterday because, like I told y'all, it was easily a lie. Deion Sanders has replied to it. Shedeur Sanders has confirmed it's a lie. And even our guys over there at the really big show, is that what they call it? But the real Izzo, the Rizzos over there, they do great stuff at ESPN Cleveland. So let's not delay. Let's go right into it. First things first, we have this little morsel right over the top, and this is this is what Shedeur Sanders is known for, right? This is what's going to propel him and allow him if he wants to beat out Dilon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett. And we got videos of Dilon Gabriel, Kenny Pickett. They're spinning the ball. They're making it look good. They're making it look nice. Obviously, everybody, no one's got pads on, and nothing really means nothing so far. But again, this is the type of throw that Shedeur Sanders breads his butter on, right? Layering over a defender, right over the reach, and he finds this guy there. That's good stuff. And then here's another one to the man, the myth, the legend, Harold Fannon. And we've done a separate video actually on Harold Fannon. We know he's one of the most productive tight ends in college football history. So y'all go check that out. You just go look him up. You ain't gotta watch my video. Just look up Harold Fannon. You're gonna look at all the numbers and accolades that he has. And here is a few cues getting at after obviously you see January Joe back there. That was Dilon Gabriel with a little bit of zip to tight end. And then the man, the myth, the legend, 1-2 is going to get up there, and Harold Fannon, which I think is going to be a phenomenal connection. You see him there, boom. Again, he looks, I would say, because a lot of people say that Harold Fannon looks stiff. I wouldn't even say that he looks stiff. The more that I see him, it almost seems like he just takes like an extra step. Does that make any sense? It feels like he's just taking an extra step. Well, this isn't him, but look, you see how 8-2 smooth. He might now just because he looks smooth. I'm telling you, Harold Fannon. It's almost like a Luka Doncic. That's who Harold Fannon is. He's like Luka Doncic. It's like so. Basketball players talk about, and you can hear Kyrie, he talks about a lot, the timing, right? Basketball is played in a timing. I believe all sports, there's a bit of timing, right? When you get into your flow, you know what I'm saying? You get like a beat in your head, you get a flow in your head. That's my opinion, right? And it's like, what basketball players say about Luka, or specifically Kyrie, says about Luka, is that like it's like an offbeat thing. Like, right, Luka, if you do watch basketball, I hope, you know what I'm saying, it's not going over your head, but he's not like the fastest. He's not the strongest. He's not the you know what I'm saying? He's not the top of the line when it comes to physical attributes. However, he gets in the lane, he can slow you down. He can control the pace. He can kind of get you off guard to be like, whoa. It's kind of like, for another analogy, if you watch baseball, the reason why pitchers throw, those, trash balls, or those really slow sinkers, or whatever you call them, knuckleballs, the ones that go like 45 miles an hour, they're super slow. The reason why you do those is because this highly trained athlete that's been hitting these 95, 85 sliders and fastball, whatever. I'm not a baseball guy, but the reason why you do that is because, like, whoa, it's like what? Like, it messes up the timing, and I think that's kind of how Harold Fannon plays the game. But going on to the rest of some more OTA stuff. Again, there's not a lot of clips of OTA, but we're going to see what we can get out of here. This is Jerry Jeudy, obviously coming out, doing what he does the way he does. Had a big year last year. And he is a highly touted receiver. So it seems that whoever's going to be starting is going to have plenty of weapons. I do have to say a lot of weapons, even on the defensive side too. There's Joe Flizzy, the Flaccoist. Someone had to reach out for it, you know what I'm saying? But you know what Joe do. You know what that boy Joe do. Also, we did a separate video on Joe Flacco as well. Separate video on Quinshon Judkins. I am super excited for Quinshon Judkins. And do not forget Mr. Dilon Samson. I might do a separate videos on just the running backs. I think legitimately the Cleveland Browns have solved their starting running back position for at least the next 3 years. Unless one of them gets traded, unless something else happens, you have, again, Quinshon Judkins, who is an absolute beast in the game of football since his freshman days in the SEC, SEC records, Ole Miss records, yada, 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 and then goes to some place called The Ohio State University, wins a national championship, embarrasses my Texas Longhorns. It's a whole thing, okay? And Dilon Samson was the entire production for those Tennessee Volunteers last year, obviously with the highly talented and touted Nico Amalivia when he left and before he left the University of Tennessee. Again, I had him as a Heisman favorite because he came in that last, start last year. He had me fooled. Whenever we would do our weekly check-ins for our videos, which we do during the season, cannot wait. Season's coming quick, only like 100 days left. Whenever we would check the rankings for Tennessee, they would always be like top, I think 15, top 20 FBS when it comes to their offense. But then you look at their passing offense and it's terrible. Their rushing offense was absolutely phenomenal. Has a lot to do with Dilon Samson, one-man wrecking crew. And then another man who is going to be in the worlds of the quarterback battle. It's interesting to me. It feels like either people think that Kenny Pickett does not belong in this quarterback battle, or they think he's the guy. Like, those are the only two opinions. Either it's like, it's either Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, or Shedeur, or someone saying like, oh yeah, I actually like Kenny Pickett than Deshaun Watson. Like, those are the only two opinions I'm seeing. How do I feel about Kenny Pickett, the player? I think that, the world of the NFL, there's some quarterbacks that when you see Daniel Jones getting second contracts and getting this many chances, XYZ, it makes you feel bad for the Kenny Pickett's, because is Kenny Pickett, did he do anything that surprised me or anything that enticed me when I watched him play? No. But when you see people like Daniel Jones getting as many opportunities and other people, it makes you feel bad for the Trey Lances of the world and some of these quarterbacks that seemingly, Baker Mayfield, who seemingly only really got a chance. They did an either okay to mid job with it, you know what I'm saying, but they don't get that other opportunity. That's what I think about Kenny Pickett. Could he shock some people? Sure. I don't remember the last quarterback that's successful that threw with two gloves, except for Tommy Two Gloves. Shout out to Teddy Bridgewater over there, Florida State champion, coaching for high school. And then we go on the defensive side, watching these boys, you know what I'm saying, doing it big, breaking it down, go crazy. And I really do think that there's going to be a lot of talent on this Cleveland Browns team. And if you're not familiar, if you're a new Cleveland Brown fan, again, I'm just Denzel Ward. Shout out to Denzel Ward, absolute beast. This is just going off the historics and a little bit of the NFL that I've been watching. Obviously Myles Garrett, Ozzie Newsome, right? You just got Miles Graham. Or sorry, not Miles Graham. What's his name? Well, he's right down here. The video is right here. Mason Graham, obviously out of Tennessee. So I say all that to say that typically Cleveland, they stay with some defensive players. Again, I'm gonna keep saying it. Oh my goodness, it sucks that Jock. I just call him Jock because I don't want to mispronounce his name. The linebacker that Cleveland Browns had, that added a whole new dynamic part to their defense that I think excelled, because sometimes it felt like the Cleveland Browns, like I said, they had great talent on the defense. It almost felt like they were good. And certainly, again, Myles Garrett, one of the best defensive players in the league. You have the Denzel Wards that can shine. You got the Gary News that you had players that would shine sometimes, and they had great talent, but it didn't always feel like you had a great defense. I feel like with Jock, you had a great defense, someone who could take the intermediate levels and do the big things, right? He's an off-ball linebacker. He could blitz just fine. He can attack just fine, but the space is fine. And I think he was the gel that did everything else that allowed that defense to be pretty talented. I think so. But I still think, the Cleveland Browns are going to stay with some talented players. There was a lot to be said about Mason Graham and adjusting XYZ. I do want to say, these are some, kids adjusting to the NFL. What's it called? So, there's got to be a way that there's got to be a way that we can acknowledge, the fact that these are young kids that are growing. So even if he was throwing up in trash cans or or whatever they said that he was doing, give the kid some time, right? He's still transitioning. He's getting into the NFL. He's getting acclimated into what an NFL regime is, as opposed to a college regime. I think we underestimate, kind of the major jump that can be. But yeah, that's it. Again, nothing major, just a few clips here and there. After this, I guess we could. So we spoke about some lies, and the lies got so crazy that our guys, the Riz had to speak on it, and he even talked about how fake and kind of how these clickbait sites get crazy. You know what I mean?
This is USA Today. Did Shedeur buy a Rolls Royce? Dilon dispels rumors. The father's got to go. Stop. And by the way, so what if he did? Chris, what is the big deal if he buys a Rolls Royce?
There isn't one.
Kid's worth about $10, $12 million at 23 years old.
Hey, come on, man. I'm gonna call you the Riz because I used to watch WWE in the Miz. So I'm sorry, sir. I'm gonna call you the Riz, and he's spitting absolute facts. I'm loving what I'm hearing because to that person in the background's point, here's Shedeur and Dilon again saying that we're lying, and NFL notifications, another one of these aggregate accounts asking an AI if if NFL notification is like, dog. I think Deion Sanders knows. I that's just me. It's a crazy guess, but I think Deion Sanders, the son of Shedeur and Bucky Sanders, might know the truth. NFL notifications, but I get it. A lot of y'all, I just don't understand. I hope that because Tom's a flat sir. I hope we get to a point where lying is not as popular anymore, and people start watching my videos like you, because you're a phenomenal viewer of mine. You're better than the average bear. That's why you watch my videos and why you don't watch these lies. So yeah, it was a lie. But before we even get into debunking the lies, it goes to the reason why I make some of the videos I make. I go out of my way to ensure no, y'all ain't gonna paint Shedeur like that. When it comes to football, let's critique him. Let's critique him. But when it comes to the off the field stuff, what is wrong with a millionaire buying a millionaire car? And we read those comments. People, this is such a bonehead thing. Is it? Because I know they were freaking out when he did it, because he already bought one. He already bought a Rolls Royce. They were freaking out when he bought one in college. I don't know why y'all want to freak out because he buys another one. Did y'all think he lost money? Y'all thought he signed an NFL contract and lost money? I'm confused, dog. So yeah, what is wrong with getting an expense? He's not. The crazy part is, even if it was his car and the video was like it was, he's talking on the phone. Shedeur's not flaunting it. He's not flexing it. He ain't posting it. So what are y'all mad at Shedeur for? This is not on Shedeur's account. It ain't on his YouTube page. This is Bucky's YouTube page. And because he was in a FaceTime call, they attached it to him. And hey, they got the clicks. And of course, Shedeur has to come out and says, another lie. I'm focused on my team, not a car purchase. Coach Prime says lies. It's nastiness. And before I get out of here, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy who tweeted me. First off, before we even get here, I want y'all to follow me on Twitter. I tweet terrible sports takes, and I tweet terrible takes about hip hop sometimes because people be talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake on my timeline. But go ahead and follow me. But I don't want you to follow me for any reason, only because I've had my first person come out and my guy. So shout out my guy, that DJ Hardaway. I'm actually gonna hit you with a follow too. He just out of the blue tweeted this out. He said, "You said some real ish on your channel. Why can't a multi-million-dollar man, son, another multi-millionaire man with or without his dad, can't buy a RR? People got to stop the hate." Appreciate that take on your channel. I appreciate you for saying those kind words to me. Go ahead, and if you want to tweet at me, you can tweet at me right here. I might have it down in the description as well. I probably can't show that video, so I better get that up out of here. But anyway, and I say all that to say that understanding Twitter culture is very paramount in the world of news, because a lot of people get their news from Twitter. So this is Mr. Corey, and he's a part of a band of people who are making up lies about Shedeur Sanders but they're positive lies about Shedeur Sanders. So they're negatively lying about Shedeur Sanders. And the whole joke is they want Shedeur fans to get false hope, I guess, and to, quote them, you know what I'm saying? And infamously, just so you know, this is proof, and this is not just a guy who likes the Browns. Here it is. If y'all remember, Shedeur Sanders shatters NFL rookie camp records with jaw-dropping 10 touchdowns in 2 days while Family News steals the spotlight. So obviously there is no record for touchdowns thrown, dropping 10 touchdowns. People say it didn't happen though. You know what I'm saying? It spreads. Like, you can tell that they're talking in code. They know that these are jokes that they're spreading, right? And I guess the more that they spread it, they can make Shedeur Sanders feel dumb, or Shedeur Sanders fans feel dumb. So just make sure y'all watch it. Shedeur Sanders with a perfect pass to his rookie tight end Harold Fannon, 10 out of 10 zip. A Browns coach looked at me after this, in word for word, he said, "Corey, that might be the best pass I've ever seen." Now, again, who is Corey with 2,000 followers? Do I agree, or do I believe that somebody with 2,900 followers, who says former XFL backup quarterback, who's clearly just was cloudy with a chance to sunny with a chance, or whatever the, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't fall for it. All right. Yeah, I know there's a lot of Shedeur fans. I'm a Shedeur fan, but I'm a football fan first. It gets a little tiring, dog. This shit gets a little tiring. So just make sure, don't fall for any crazy lies. There's no records that can be broken. If you hear anything crazy, if you hear any overly positive Shedeur things, don't believe it, because they want you to look dumb, which is actually a dumb reason. I sent a tweet. We'll see if he responds. If he responds, we'll follow back up. And I asked the dude, I was like, hey, so if Shedeur's like good, do you like keep the bit going, or do you like switch? Like, do you become a Shedeur hater if Shedeur good, or if Shedeur good, do you like continue to be good? Because at that point, then you're kind of, you know what I'm saying? All you're doing is just overhyping someone that's good. I don't know, but we'll see. But I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. Like this video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. I really appreciate you. You're great. Keep being great. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes and sizes. We'll see you next time. Peace.